few months ago we counted the dubia roach population one by one. We ended up with a grand total of little over 1,000 roaches. And ever since, the population's grown. I've been planning a larger enclosure for them at some point. A more permanent one that will last a lifetime. But for now, we need to buy some time. We need to give them some extra space, and build something nice and simple that'll do the job without a whirlwind of time put into it. Subscribe and join the team. I'm Sean and welcome to SG Animals. So I've had this tub for a few years now, and recently it's just been sitting outside gathering, well, nothing really, maybe some algae. So I figured it's time we put it to use. The old setup was a similar but smaller tub, featuring a netted window to allow airflow but reduce fly invasion. But it didn't work very well though, and fruit flies still made their way in and infested the place. The airflow also wasn't sufficient enough, causing humidity to build up, which, in turn, allowed the flies to thrive. And every time I opened the lid, hundreds of flies would fly straight towards my face. So this time we're going for a more open plan design, that will help give us some security and help avoid any escapees. Previously the flies made it through the net, but the lack of humidity in this design, in theory, should prohibit any sort of fly apocalypse. And if it doesn't go well, then we can always just add some fly netting later on. I'll have to keep an eye on it and check they still molt successfully. Check the humidity isn't too low and causing harm instead. So I used a soldering iron to cut out the centre of the lid without cracking and damaging the tub at all. Threw down some wheat bran for substrate, and started moving over the cork bark. This time without counting them. And then separated the roaches from the substrate and dirt, or the best I could at least, while keeping the larger bits in chunks to avoid chucking any babies away in the bin. Look at that. My dubia roach colony has amassed an incredible size now. My own mini army set to feed my reptiles. The smooth sides of the tub avoid any critters climbing their way out, but only so long as it stays clean and smooth. If it gets grubby, then they'll start gripping the edges. I've also seen conflicting advice recently, so I'm testing it out. I've never really had any issues with the health of my colony, with this sort of setup at least. But there seems to be debate as to what level of humidity these guys prefer. Some say around 30%, but too low and they'll struggle to molt properly, resulting in death. And others say around 60%, which is perfect for allowing the fruit flies to thrive. We'll see how we get on and adjust accordingly. But this won't be the last upgrade these guys see. Something larger and more permanent and potentially bioactive is coming their way at some point. Maybe late this year or early next year. We'll see how the other builds go first. There is however a rendition of a previous experiment coming their way, mainly because of Jason's recent behaviour. An experiment involving roaches versus defrosted rodents. And if anyone's interested, I may also look into putting a care guide together for this lot. So let me know what you think. Are you trying to start a colony at home yourself? Otherwise, thank you all for watching, and we'll see the dubia roaches again soon. Maybe with an even larger population.